United 93 departure, good morning, 5 maintain 4000.
5 maintain
4000, United 93.
We're still in love with Italy, though. Porcini risotto. It's a beautiful rice dish. Creamy, but no cream added. A little cheese at the end, and wonderful porcini mushrooms. We have reinvented the sandwich using okay, now this is something. Okay, it's the flour tortilla that's lightly toasted so that it gets fluffy. And that's all. Clammy and nasty. A chipotle mayonnaise is really...
We just had a plane crash into upper floor of the World Trade Center, transmit a second alarm, and start relocating companies into the area.
This has to be deliberate, folks.
Planes smashing into each one.
And it didn't look like a commercial jet. It was a smaller plane. It was definitely a smaller plane.
American 77, Indy.
That looks like a good-sized plane came in and...
To combat terrorists, things like this.
It's interesting.
It's really good. It's black. It's ours.
Part of this is fortunate, but if you look at cities who are prepared...
Anybody else want to try in here? These young men, we're not ready to die.
Probably one of the few places that is prepared with the kind of equipment, response, and rescue efforts that could...
How the hell are you going to get my ass down? I need oxygen. They have a lot of apparatus on the street. You get them in from all over. They get in from Jersey. I don't give
a triage center for the injured has been set up just around the corner from the World Trade Center.
Okay, so mine's high school. I must have called about a dozen times already. COSGROVE. Yeah, my wife thinks I'm all right. I called her and said I was leaving the building. I was fine, and bang.
Currently in the air over the United States to land at the nearest airport. Now you can imagine what may be happening or what they think might be happening in some part of the country, that there is somebody else on some aircraft coming from somewhere or going somewhere with evil in their, with evil intentions, and so all aircraft currently in the air over the United States have been ordered to land at the nearest airport.
I think
one of your hang on a sec, I just want to check one thing, because one of the very first people the president talked to was the director of the FBI, Per Thomas, who covers the Justice Department. And
We're looking at financial center. The three of us, two broken windows.
Police officers, FBI agents. Oh, God! Flowers! A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
Trying to get a sense of who might have been planning something, but right now, the first order of business is to protect against a second attack, third attack. The feeling is normally when you have this kind of situation, there will be more attacks almost immediately.
let's go to the trade tower again, because, John, we now have what do we have? We don't...
It looks like a new plume, a new large plume of smoke.
Are coming from the Pentagon.
Jim, let me interrupt you. We are looking at live pictures of the World Trade Center literally starting to crumble.
All right, come on down this way.
It is falling apart. As we watch these pictures live, the World Trade Center, 110 stories, literally starting to fall. Bill Daley, let me bring you into the conversation. I know this was the goal of the terrorist strike back in 1993.
Now, that's 1-800-435-7669 to donate cash by credit card. Donations may be mailed to American Red Cross, Post Office Box 37243, Washington, D.C. 20013.
I think what goes through your mind is, how did this slip past the FBI? How did this slip past the FBI? With all these different attacks in 2 different states, maybe our expert here.
The FBI, what does the CIA do? The question you raised before we went off and saw some of the interviews was, would they be criticized for it? And the answer is, hindsight's always wonderful to say what we should have done, and probably they and other intelligence gatherers will be criticized. What you have to do, if you want to stop this, what you really have to do is infiltrate these organizations very early on. You can't put somebody in once it happens. You have to put them in, as the city police did years and years ago, and let them come up through the ranks. And that was stopped. Courts said you can't do that because we have to protect the right. We have to balance are going to suffer, which we have to in order to stop this. You can't take a person or stop a person from committing suicide. That gets proved in all over the Mideast every day of the week now, it seems. But we ought to be able to better restrict and better confront the people who are causing this, and we're not doing that.
Well, short of changing the Constitution, how do you go about it?
Well, you don't have to violate the Constitution necessarily to find out what people are doing. There's a right of privacy and there's an expectation of privacy, but that doesn't mean you can't have people infiltrated to groups. It means you're going to have to spend a considerable amount of time, effort, and manpower, power getting into these groups and gathering intelligence. And it means you're going to have to give up some of the things that the Constitution may or may not protect, but you need to do in order to protect people.
A friend of mine works for the FBI. He's, out in the field. He's an agent. And he tells me all the time that he's on surveillance outside people's houses who are known terrorists or possible terrorists. And they're constantly watching these people. So what I'm asking again is, how did this slip by? I mean, we can say, 2020 hindsight, this was obviously a synchronized plan.
A prayer. According to American Airlines is confirming that its Flight 11 from Boston to Los Angeles was hijacked today, and that its plane was the first one involved in this attack on the World Trade Center.
Forever erased from our memory.
I think it will always be in our memory, that's for sure, but definitely erased from our skies. This is just unbelievable.
A live picture from Chopper 5 showing the collapse of the World Trade Center.
What do we do now? Mr. Jaffe, but what do we do now? You said I shouldn't be angry, and maybe I shouldn't, but I am very, very angry by this, and we shouldn't let it shut us down. No. But this is a tremendous impact on our lives. Where do we go from here? What should we do? How do we respond?
I think we take a very deliberate course of action, which may take a week, a month, a year,
where we start to put ourselves on track to understand that we are the target